Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Y'all see me behind that heart? Look. Hey. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Friday night. Hey, what? Just got paid. Friday night. Come on, come on. This is our live virtual fundraiser. Woo! Come on, y'all. Come on in this room. Come on in. 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 I see I got one viewer. Let's go, viewer. Hey, come on in. Come on in. Say hello. Tell me who you are. Let's talk in this chat. Share, share, share. Share, share, share. Share, share, share. I got some good news. I got some great people here with me tonight. Come on in the room. Share, share, share. Hi, everyone. If you don't know me, my name is Lorene Price Henderson, and I am one of the founders, along with my husband, Simeon Henderson, and we are the founders of SimLoH Dynasty Inc. Hey, y'all see, yeah, I'm behind this little heart right now because I want to give some love, woo, love. I want to give some love. But tonight, I thank you all for coming in with me. And I just want to be able to, one, bring awareness to SimLoH Dynasty Inc. and our purpose, our mission. There we go. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Share, share, share. I got some special guests tonight. What? We having conversations. What you say? Conversations about what? ACE awareness. What is ACE? ACEs is adverse childhood experience. Come on now. What? We're going to talk about awareness. We're going to talk about resources. And we also going to talk about the Valerie A. Howard Resilience Scholarship. Come on now. What? We are raising funds. This is our live virtual fundraiser. We will be giving out 5 scholarships to 5 first semester college students who have shown themselves to be resilient in the loss of a parent due to incarceration, death, mental health, and substance abuse. We will award 5 students, y'all didn't hear that, 5 students who have entered their first year of college and have shown themselves resilient, meaning they made it. They've been making it, and we want to help continue to encourage them to make it. And we will be awarding these students, 5 of them, $5,000 a piece. That's right. I trust God. $5,000 a piece because they have shown themselves resilient through the loss of a loved one. What? That lost one was due to a parent dying, being incarcerated, dealing with substance abuse, or mental health issues. So ACE awareness, ACEs, trauma, adverse childhood experiences, trauma that a child has dealt with in between the ages of 0 to 18. Y'all know 0 is in the womb, right? And children can deal with ACEs from the womb to the age of 18. And so these students have shown themselves resilient. If you know someone who is a first-year student and they would like to apply for this scholarship, I'm going to put it right here up on the board. I ask you to have them to email. They can email us right here. It's right here at the bottom at scholarshipcommittee@simlohdynasty.org for an application. Also, if you would like to nominate a student, tell them about it. You can get an application too, and make sure they get it and fill it out. Come on, we can do this. Let's help someone be pushed along their resilience road. All right. Y'all ready for my guest tonight? Woo, I'm excited. I'm bringing y'all 3 generations today. 3 generations. All right. Yeah, this just not, middle age. This is just not one of those shows, because we don't just deal with adults and dealing with the effects of ACEs, but we also deal with millennials, youth, so many generation X, Z's, Y's, and I'm confused about all that. But I'm bringing you 3 generations today. And my first guest I'm going to introduce you to is Pastor Deb. Woo, 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 woo. She's going to come in and we're going to talk about what it is that she does. She has resources. So you all are in for a great show tonight. So, hey!
Hello. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I am wonderful. I have waited for this moment since you asked me to do this. How about that?
Awesome. We got Ask Pastor Deb on here today, and she's going to tell you more about her show. She's going to tell you more about who she is and what she does and what resources she has to help adults, not just adults, children, teens. Look, y'all live for something. But I'm going to also introduce you to our next guest. I told y'all, 3 generations. Omar Shakir. Shakir, make sure you can let me know. Hey, Omar.
Hey.
What's going on?
Just chilling in the car.
Doing what the millennials do, huh? In the car or yeah, okay. So in the car. I got you 70s, baby. That's me. Just turned that 50. What? And then I also have Debra, who is I guess she'll tell. They say don't tell your age. I let her tell it, but she's another generation. And then Omar, what year, Omar?
95.
95. Okay, baby. 95, baby. Even though the 95s be grown, they still are babies. All right. So so I just thank you all for coming in today. I see there's a comment over here, and I love to acknowledge the people. Oh yes, join the conversations. Come on. Share this, y'all. Share this. I know it's difficult for some people because I am now on the East Coast. So I got that Eastern time going on. I think Omar is in Indiana. Debra and I are here in Georgia. And so for all our Central people that's in Chicago and on the California side, the West Coast, hey, I know, but that's why we record. And I just ask that you share this with people. All right. Share this. So tonight we are getting into the conversations about ACE awareness, which is adverse childhood experiences. And before we go on, I will have each one of my guests introduce themselves and tell you why they're here. So, Debra.
Okay. Hi, everybody. It's Pastor Deb. That is my name. And I have the Recovery Cafe. So what does the Recovery Cafe mean? It is substance abuse recovery. Okay. And so that is a plethora of things when we talk about substance abuse. But tonight we're going to focus on ACEs and why substance abuse plays a very big part in the ACEs. And I know it does because, baby, I had some ACEs at the age of 6. How about that? And it carried on through life. Now, She didn't want to tell my age, but I am so proud of my age. And the generation I come from is called baby boomers. That tells you something, right? Yes, I am on the road to 60. I actually have 40, I think it's 41 more days, and I will be 60 years old. So I am on the road to 60. And in those decades, it was 6 of them already that I have lived. I tell you, I have had some aces. And tonight we're going to talk about them. I'm going to talk about the Recovery Cafe because now I am in recovery. Yes. And I have so many resources that I can share with anyone that is battling addiction, any form of addiction. And later on, we'll get deeper into it. But I am so glad that Lorene asked me to come on because I am one of her partners. Ask Pastor Deb Recovery Cafe is a partner, yes. And I am also one of her sponsors. And I am so proud of what she's doing. And I'm asking each one of you to contribute to this Valerie Howard Resilient Scholarship. And so that's it. You'll hear more from me later. Ask Pastor Deb. Thank you for inviting me, Lorene.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now I will have our next guest, Omar, to introduce himself.
Hi, my name is Omar. I have a podcast that I co-host with my friend called Help I'm Sad. You can find on every streaming platform that you get podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart. But I do this podcast as a self-improvement podcast hosted by me and my friend Nisi Henderson. And each month we unpack emotional and mental baggage through each episode. You can expect us to discuss mental health, Black experiences, past traumas. Um, you can expect things, just our hearts and our minds, and trying to push the conversation forward when it comes to mental health, because there's a lot of stipulations and a lot of stigma when it comes to how we deal with it. And so with Help I'm Sad, it's definitely for the people who are of the melancholy, nervous wreck variety, and anywhere in between. And hope that you guys support SimLoH Dynasty and support the cause, because mental health is mental wealth. And if you and I as a young millennial, even though I think, or as a young millennial, even though I think I'm grown, have experienced childhood adverse experiences, and so I really support my auntie in this endeavor, and hope to have more conversations throughout this night.
Awesome. Thank you, Omar. Again, you all, Omar is one of the hosts of Help I'm Sad. And I'm going to throw that up right there. You can catch him on any podcast channel. Help I'm Sad. And we'll get more into that. I know when I saw it one day, he had it up on his Facebook page. And I was like, okay, what's wrong with him? I need to check on him and see if he okay. Because, I'm like, is he crying out? Now we can't just look at things and not think there's a message behind it, because a lot of people don't just come right out and talk about the issues that they got going on, but they'll give you some type of sign, you know what I'm saying, that they reaching, it might be, some type of conversation, and it's just like, okay, I need to read behind the lines, so I contacted him when I saw that, because I was just like, okay,
Yeah.
I still look at you, like my little baby, you know what I'm saying? So it was just like, oh man, let me check on him. And so when he told me about Help I'm Sad, I was like, oh my God, like this is awesome, because to know that a millennial is concerned about the welfare of his peers and them speaking out about trauma, childhood trauma that has happened in their lives. And, trauma don't always look like it's bad.
Okay? That's right.
Mm-hmm. Trauma don't always look like it's bad. That's what makes you resilient. Mm-hmm. Okay? It's a lot of us that's walking around and we look great. But mentally, we're jacked up from childhood trauma. And I was just really elated about what he had going on when it came to what? Help! You know, so we'll go on in the show. And again, share. I thank everyone that is out there that is joining us tonight for our virtual fundraiser and conversation about SimLoH Dynasty Inc. and our mission to bring awareness to ACEs, adverse childhood experiences, trauma that a child has received between the ages of 0 to 18. We all have been a child at some point in time in our lives. I wasn't born. I can't even think of this movie. It just hit my head. But he was born old. I can't
Benjamin Button.
Benjamin Button. Well, that was a movie. I don't know if they said that was a real thing that happened. But God ain't showed me that one. All right. So we all have been born what? Into this world as babies, as
yes,
children. And so all of us have dealt with some type of trauma in our lives. Oh, my earring went away. All of us have dealt with childhood trauma at some point. It's just about the levels that we have experienced it. And even if we've experienced high levels of trauma, it is about the mentorship. It's about the adult companionship that we've had in our childhood to get us through our ACEs, okay, which makes us resilient. And so here I have not just an adult, but a young adult who is here to share, some of his experiences. And, I've been knowing Omar since, I guess, about 5. I don't know.
All my life? I don't know.
Yeah, he was younger. We are everybody, all the kids, y'all. I believe in titles. Yes. I believe that all adults should have some type of titles. That's just me. This is my opinion, my show, my opinion, my show. So I believe that a kid should not be walking around saying, Debra.
Right.
Can you do A, B, C, or D? Now, y'all, check out my book, Get Out, Training Your Children to Lead in That. I'm going to plug it. But I just believe that there should be some type of title related to my name. And so, they didn't have to call me Ms., Miss Lorene and Miss Price and all of that at the time. I was Miss Price, but I was TT. So all the kids growing up, I got all kind of nieces and nephews, y'all. And so Omar has always called me TT Lorene, okay? And in that, from watching him grow up, I've watched him be such a successful kid, you know what I'm saying? And I've watched him go through his trials, his tribulations. And when his dad was like, look, you grown, it's time for you to handle your business, you know what I'm saying? I watched that cycle with him. And then to see him start help, I'm sad, okay, to reach out to others in this capacity and to share his story and to help heal and help be a mentor to other children. That's what we do in terms of providing the resources and highlighting other resources and mentorship programs. And even in Debra's case, like we say, dealing with adults who dealing with serious substance abuse because of childhood experiences. Yes. Okay, I don't. If you weren't here with me on my last show, and I'll put it up here, and it says the approach right here. Can y'all see that right there? And it talks about us always having adults in our lives. It's called the triple A's right here. But when we don't deal with the trauma that is in our lives that we dealt with from childhood, 9 times out of 10 said 3 times you're going to either deal with these things: substance abuse, alcohol, overeating, or smoking. All right. But over here, you're going to see if you get the help that we need, young and old, you become what? Resilient. Resilient. And so that's our goal, to partner and to be able to. And if you have questions, ask them over here. Don't be scared, as they say. And Deb, I can't see you all's comments or what have you on your pages, but if someone has a question, I say, hey, somebody got a question. Okay.
Okay.
About this. All right. So, Debra, can you share your story in regards to your sobriety and your experiences, some of your experiences in terms of your childhood issues that got you to this point of the cafe?
Okay, that's a good lead in. So at the age of 6 years old, I was drinking beer. And it was okay because everyone in my family, except my mother, drank beer. Okay, so I'm not going to name any names or anything like that, but it started off with making beer mustache out of my father's beer mugs and walking around with the mustache and everybody laughing. Oh, she's so silly. Look at her. She makes beer mustaches out of the beer, you know. Little did they know that I was really drinking the beer. And I drank a lot of beer, you know, because my father drank a lot of beer. So I'm saying 6 years old. By the age of 14, trust me, I had to have a drink. And it went from beer to Crown Royal, whiskey. Okay. And so I had to have a drink at 14 years of age, teenager. Okay. I had to have a drink in order to go to sleep at night. Okay. And so the reason why I had to have a drink in order to go to sleep at night, because it was so much chaos always surrounding in my household. And I have no shame in sharing my story. As a matter of fact, my parents are deceased now, and my only sibling is deceased now. So I am here. I'm the only one left to tell the legacy. Okay. And our legacy just happens to be a family of dysfunction. How about that? And so I won't go as deep as I can go because I know Omar wants to share and I can talk. That's why the name of my show is called Ask Pastor Deb. And so you can come over there anytime and you can, you know, and I'll tell you anything you need to know. But in order to, how I got to the Recovery Cafe is that all through life.
Well, can I interrupt real quick?
Yes.
One of the things you said that they thought it was cute that you were making
beer mustaches,
right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so, of course, not understanding that they probably made beer mustaches when they were little, and
sure.
You know, so and this is what I'm talking about in terms of the generational, what we call quote curse. The curses are really learned behaviors.
Absolutely.
And so, yes, for some we would say drinking is not bad, but for each one it's different. Okay, every person is different, and you never know how someone will handle alcohol or
absolutely
any type of substance abuse. Substance. Yeah.
Right.
So, in that at that time, it was cute, but and I know, I mean, we all did some things, but when you look back down our history, learned behaviors.
Yes.
Learned behaviors. And in some cases now, I didn't turn out to be no alcoholic. I drank early. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But I didn't turn out to be one.
Yes.
But yet that was my story. I may have been addicted to something else. You know what I'm saying? But what we need to understand is that this cycle starts out because of we have not brought awareness to the fact that traumas can happen early, and they are learned. A lot of them are learned behaviors. Yes, we have mental health issues. We know that. That's a clinical. But what we're really talking about here are the mental. What we're talking about are the traumas, the learned behaviors.
Learned behaviors, yes.
Learned behaviors. And so, yes, we do know that mental health is an issue, and that's a clinical ACE. But I'm talking about the learned behaviors of ACEs, and that what we felt like was okay then, you know, has affected us. So go ahead with your story.
So basically, I mean, you summed it up, So I learned how to drink at an early age. Almost everybody in my family learned how to drink at an early age. At family gatherings, what did we all do? We drank at an early age. Now, the parents didn't necessarily just push the liquor in front of us and say, go for it.
Right.
But they also knew what we were doing after the party was over, going around and getting all the drinks that they had left over, okay, for us, and we were drinking them. And so they knew that we were doing it. I've even heard some of my relatives say, get them some so they can go to sleep. Okay, because they didn't want us to be bothering, messing up their party. So all through life, I was an alcoholic, but I didn't think I was an alcoholic because it was learned behavior. It was what my family did. It was no different. And I'll get even deeper. I went to church. I was a church girl. And after church, who was I with? The church people. And what did we do? We drank. So in comes the Recovery Cafe because I had to face those demons, my own demons. Okay. And I was a pastor facing those demons. And so that's why I say the story is really, really deep. But I did face the demons. And the first thing that I did in the treatment program was talked about what? ACEs. They didn't call it ACEs, but they took me way back to childhood to figure out why my addiction was so strong and so hard to overcome. But I did overcome. That's why I now have the Recovery Cafe.
You were resilient. You were resilient.
Resilient, absolutely. One of my counselors, that's the first thing he said to me. He said, you know what, Debra? You have done excellent. I went through I think it was a 9-month treatment program. And he said, one thing I like about you is that you are resilient. I didn't miss a day of it. I was on time. I didn't miss a day. And I went through and I got the treatment, with God. God told me, he came to me and he said, this is it. You're going to get some help. And I cried out like you, Omar. I need help. Okay. Somebody help me. I need to get it. And so that's why it's the Ask Pastor Deb Recovery Cafe. God is in the midst of this. When I tell you, I do whatever it takes to remain sober, and everybody can do whatever it takes to remain sober. Only you know what that is. And resilient. You can be resilient. I'm a living witness. The baby boomer that's getting ready to be 60 years old in 41 days. I'm sitting right here on this show with no shame. No shame. No shame.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Again, we are having the conversation, and the conversation is about ACEs, adverse childhood experiences, trauma that a child has received between the ages of 0 to 18. Debra House is here. Ask Pastor Deb is here with the Recovery Cafe. I have Omar here, Shakir Marshall here today. And I'll put his, he don't have a banner in the back, so I'm going to put his banner up. And his podcast is called Help, I'm Sad. And so he has a podcast. You can catch it on every channel or every podcast channel that there is. And we are having the conversations about ACEs, adverse childhood experiences. And my name is Lorene Price Henderson, and I am one of the founders, alongside my husband, SimLoH Henderson, and we are the founders of SimLoH Dynasty Inc. And our mission, our calling is to bring awareness to childhood trauma, ACEs. And so again, I have guests here and we are having the conversations, and we're not scared. We ain't scared, so because guess what? Someone needs help. Someone needs help. And they have been in the cave too long, and when they come out, it's like, oh, bright sunshine, but then they go back into this dark cave. And so we are having the conversations today about ACEs, and we want people to be healed. And, I know a lot of people look at ACEs as just being the big things: substance abuse, death. We say substance abuse means alcohol, drugs, food. We just eat. We wonder why we got all these fat kids or overweight kids or obese kids. I'm using all the names, so won't nobody get offended that I call somebody's kid fat. I'm using all the terms just in case somebody don't know what obese is. Heavy. We want to know why we having kids with health issues, and that is because no one is paying attention to the fact that they may have underlying issues. ACEs. They are growing up in single parent homes. They are growing in domestic violent homes. They are growing up in abusive homes, sexually abused, physically abused, fussing and arguing all day long. We have to stop this cycle. We have to stop the cycle. We have to stop the cycle. So ACEs goes a long way, and I'm going to share here with you, and I will be with Omar next. We will be back with him, but I am going to share with you a link. You might say, I don't have any ACEs. Well, I would love for you to take the ACEs test. And it's down here at the bottom. And you can go to AmericanSPCC.org to take the ACEs quiz. I challenge you to take the ACEs quiz. No, we're not saying that everybody is acting, or we do things. When we do things based off what we've learned in our adulthood, like nobody keeps my kid hardly. You know what I'm saying? Because what trauma I might have experienced with being with somebody else at somebody else's house. Okay. So yeah, that might affect how I am as a parent today. All right. Take the quiz. We can't say that we're not getting the information. Take the quiz. Also, I always plug this book because this is a good book. It's not about me being an Oprah fan. It's about the information that she gets out. And her book is called, her and Dr. Perry, her book is called What Happened to Me? And they're talking about ACEs. What happened to me? Take a some people journal. I never journaled early, but if we just close our eyes, take a look back in our lives and say, I wonder what happened to me. Why am I the way that I am today? Who makes me? Who made me the way that I am today? And did I get the help? So the link is at the bottom down there. Go to that website. I challenge you to go and then hit me up on my website or my email, and I'll give you the information for that. Hit me up. That's the giving. That's the giving. We'll give y'all that too. Contact me.
It just popped up there.
Contact me. Contact me and tell me your story so that we can help you get counseling, so that we can help the family get counseling, or we can help the individual child, or children get counseling, get some type of resources, get them into some mentorship programs. Look, resilience happens because of the adult influences that we have, the positive adult influences that we have, okay, that a child gets in their early age. All right. Separation, divorce can cause ACEs on a child. Okay. We looking at the big stuff, but it's some little things that we haven't looked at. So also, if you would like to give to the Valerie A. Howard Resilient Scholarship, The information is floating across the bottom. It's floating across the bottom. You can go to our website and hit the donation button, and you could go to Cash App at $SimLoH Dynasty, or Zelle at give@simlohdynasty.org. I would like to thank those who have already given. I ask that you share with someone so that we can be able to give 5 first semester college students $5,000 for their resilience that they have shown through the loss of a loved one due to incarceration, mental health, substance abuse, or death. Okay? Omar, now we're coming back to you. Come on, tell us your story.
Okay, so before the podcast, before I moved to Indianapolis, before my parents got divorced, young Omar was coming up in the world, trying to figure out what was going on and what was happening and everything. And I do want to say I feel like during my time of growing up, a lot of things were happening technology-wise, to where, we went from not having no phones to having cellular phone, mobile phones, and AirPods, and digital streaming services, and all types of things. And so, I feel like the first half of my childhood was spent outside, exploring the world for what it is. And the second part of it was really like playing games and being in the house, and that being that, and like my parents buying the games to consume my time so that they could, work and party and do all the things they want to do. You know what I'm saying? As young people. But growing up, I had pretty normal childhood. My parents divorced when I was maybe a freshman in high school, which I think affected me a lot because how I viewed relationships, especially because my parents' relationship, in my eyes, from my perspective, was revered from people, from their peers, you know what I'm saying, from the family, from our inside family, because I didn't understand the family trauma that my parents had came from, and their parents had came from, and what I had been, what I think God had called them for me to be. And so so when the divorce happened, it broke a lot of foundational principles that I think my parents had worked so hard to upstand. And it set me on a very tumultuous turmoil road in terms of how I view relationships. And then because I view relationships so differently, and that was my main focus, everything else slacked. My schooling, my physicality, my spirituality, everything else was lacking. And so I finished high school, went to college for a couple years, ended up dropping out, and then having to work a job for maybe a year, 2 years, and then at 21 moving to Indianapolis. Now the story being told is that I moved out there just for the change and be a new environment, and my dad wanted me to grow up. I feel like in my heart of hearts, my soul of souls, that I was kicked out. Now I'm going wrong with that story because of how resilient I've been able to come out of that situation, with little to no support in terms of being able to get on my own 2 feet and actually make things happen in terms of living situations, in terms of jobbing, and in terms of having a job, in terms of saving and things of that nature. But because I was kicked out at 21, living with my cousin in Indiana, I was able to really do some self-awareness checking and self-worth kind of evaluation, because I knew I wasn't happy, but I knew I wasn't happy, and so doing that self-awareness and actually figuring out what it was that was hindering me from succeeding. You know what I'm saying? Because people see me as success. People see my dad as success. So if I'm coming from success, why am I not reaching those pinnacles? You know what I'm saying? And so, the idea of Help I'm Sad was born out of anger, which I think is a constant emotion, especially of Black people, because of all the things that our ancestors gone through, but then we have to go through because of the things that our ancestors have gone through. And so the initial pitch was, I'm pissed, because I really was upset about all the things that I felt were owed to me and that was unfair, and that, I'm playing a blame game and really trying to place who was at fault. You know what I'm saying? And so I pitched the idea to a couple people, my mom, our friends, and they was like, yeah, you might want to sit on that for a minute, because you're not an angry person, and so you gotta watch how you deliver it. And so, I sat on it, prayed on it, meditated, began to fast, began to better my health, got into my place, worked a job, been consistent with that job, getting promotion and things of that nature. And my childhood best friend, came to me with the idea of doing Help I'm Sad, because we had for the past year have been having conversations around mental health and what that looks like in our society, and what that looks like in our community, and what that looks like for our generation. And we weren't seeing or hearing enough of the depression, anxiety that is in our world. And so we kind of want to just shed light, and I wanted to shed light and to be a representation in a good way as best as I can, while also healing myself in the process. So yeah, that's a little bit of my research. So I'm a little long-winded.
Well, that's awesome, because again, we're having a conversation. Someone needs to hear this. I've only been doing this now for 3 weeks on Fridays and Mondays, and the response has been amazing. I don't look at the numbers. I'm looking at the one person that can be helped out of these lives that we are having. Wow, your story is amazing, and it's not new. Someone else, like I say, there's nothing new under the sun. And so what is new is that we're having the conversation, and we're dealing with the issues so that we won't be depressed, overweight, drinking, sleeping. I know he talked about well, y'all got to go to his podcast. It's really good. Oh man, this would have been one I wrote some notes down from the first one. I was like, whoa, they teaching me some things. And I don't know if you can remember this, Omar, but once they were talking about being, because I talked to you about this later. They were talking about being it wasn't about, okay, I'm gonna have to let it go, but I'm gonna get that, and we're gonna talk about that one. But it was about being slothful, or when you, oh Jesus. And I had brought it back to your attention about I didn't even never knew what that really was. I never looked at it in the same sense of depression, when we're coddling ourselves up and, oh, I'm just tired. You know what I'm talking about, out of your first one. But anyway, we'll get back to that. But you put some good points out there. And again, that's why I have you on here today, because so many of us, even with me dealing with my parents separated, that was hard for me. Because they separated twice while we were younger, but my father was there, just like your parents. They were still there. They were great co-parents, but still there's a difference. Okay. We can have great co-parenting, but at the same time, we don't have that 2-parent home, which sometimes too, in somebody else's case, they wish they didn't even have a 2-parent home, because so much chaos in it. So it's like, you danged if you do and you danged if you don't, almost. You know what I'm saying? Just keeping it real. We keeping it real. So the thing is, though, how do we get through it? How do we get through it? Because we're going to deal with some type of ACEs. Well, I have some questions out there. I gotta let me look. And if you all have some, let me know. But I had a question out there. It was Troy, and Troy had made some mistakes. Can somebody else see it? And my phone locked up on me.
He actually directed it to me.
Uh-huh. Can
And
you
he said, Pastor Deb, have you been able to track the success or failure of counseling once they have entered adulthood, workforce, military, or college? And I answered him by saying, yes, I am a recovery coach, and that is one of the things that I do. You know, that's what the recovery piece is all about. And so we go back to the ACEs piece, and then we bring everything up to today and to the recovery and what we are doing right now. And so I thought that was a great question. I answered the question on the thread here, and I also directed him to visit my website, and that way he can get more information, and more people can get more information if you go to my website, and I put it down in the comment section.
Thank you. Omar, you have any questions on your page?
I do not.
Okay. So we pray that people will go back and they would look at this live and be encouraged, get some help, get some counseling, be resilient, share their resilient story so that others may be helped. Okay. Share your story. You know, and wait a minute. You can't share your story with everybody. You got to know how to tell. Just like your mom told you. You too angry right now to share your story.
Right. Don't share.
Right?
Yeah.
You got to be healed first.
Yeah.
Like you said, she told you you were too angry to share your story. And you said when you put a pause on it, when you paused, you say you worked on your health, right?
Yeah.
You worked on your spirit,
spiritual health,
mental. You worked on
my
all that.
Health, everything.
Before.
Yeah.
Help, I'm sad came out, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So I just want to share. You can't share with everybody. And you need to know when to share. Okay?
Yeah.
At least go through the process of healing yourself.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
It don't mean that God ain't called us to something powerful. But we got to be able to be healed and be resilient. Through the process.
Yeah.
Okay? So, but this has been some great conversation. I am glad to have two resilient young people on here with me today as we have the conversations about ACEs, childhood traumas. Okay? Y'all, let me tell you, Debra mentioned being in the church. We all grew up in the church. A lot of us have grown up in the church. I think one of the childhood traumas that we don't even look at is that some of us were raised in the church and so much drama was going on in our homes. And then we went to church and we act like nothing happened so that we didn't find the church useful. Okay. And therefore we went through the programs and the processes and everything and we didn't get healed. That's why I also encourage churches. Let's talk about ACEs. Let's get help with domestic issues and violence. Domestic violence ain't just a woman getting beat by a man.
Talk about it.
Domestic violence is also your children being exposed to the mama getting beat by the man. Okay.
Codependency.
Codependency.
Yes, you get dependent.
Right? Which affects their life later. All right. Y'all, it's so many areas of trauma. There is a mother or a father that's home and they having all these issues and they saying, well, I'm not beating on the kid. So the kid gonna be okay. No, that kid is traumatized. Is being traumatized. All right. There are so many different levels that we are left our houses and we are gone to the church. And so now we got adults who went to the church and they didn't get the help that they needed. And I'm not saying everybody, because I did get help from the church. Okay. I got help from mentors. I'm just saying that back in the day, we didn't talk about it. We didn't have the conversation. And so I am challenging spiritual institutions to have the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Have some parenting classes, implement some parenting classes within your church.
Yeah.
I got a book, great book, called Get Out. Training Your Children to Lead a Nest. Designed with biblical principles, but dealing with everyday issues, practical issues. Okay? So I'm challenging. I have watched, I'm only 50. But in the past 30 years or so, I have been working with children. I was a child. And I think my motivation for working with children is because I always wanted to help a kid not go through either what I went through or what I saw my peers going through. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that probably was a part of my passion.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Holy Ghost. He just really
that's it. Your message. We say that all the time. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so what I couldn't help my friends out of, I want to help some kid now out of.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the Valerie A. Howard Resilience Award is so important. Because she was a woman of God who was resilient. We have been childhood friends since really, really close since 8th grade. And so I find it an honor to name a scholarship after her in honor of her. And I just want us to all be helped. That's why the SimLoH Dynasty Inc., our mission is to bring awareness to adverse childhood experiences and bring resources. If you are a mentorship program, if you are a counselor, therapist, if you are a what they call the karate places, Boy Scout, Girl Scout, call us. We would like to partner with you.
Yeah.
We would like to go into communities. Our goal is be in communities and bring resources to areas who don't have the resources. Yeah, people have online mentorship programs. Don't tell me. You just don't know about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we're not talking about it. I don't know one kid, and if y'all do, fine, but babies walking around with cell phones. Guess what? There are online mentorship programs that can help these children not only help the children, but there are parenting programs that can help the parents.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have the conversation and let's give to the Valerie A. Howard Resilience Scholarship. You can give to SimLoH Dynasty because we will be paying for students, for children to be a part of these mentorship programs. If we got to pay people to start a mentorship program in neighborhoods where people not going, if we got to pay counselors to go into neighborhoods where there are no offices for kids or adults to be counseled, and we always say, well, everybody needs counseling. Well, they can't even get to counseling offices and hospitals. Right. Y'all, I live in Georgia in the country. It takes me at least 40 minutes at the minimum.
Yes.
At the minimum to get to some type of counseling or hospital.
And now you can't get in because of COVID.
Come on.
Those were the
Yeah.
first things to be canceled. Nope, can't come in here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that messed up a whole lot of people, because counseling is consistency.
Yes.
And if you get it, you got to stick with it.
Yes.
And so just imagine people that were turned away. Nope, can't come. We'll let you know when you come back. And then look what happened, that spiral thing, you know, ACEs comes up in their minds. And next thing you know, they right back out doing the same thing that they were doing. And they hollering, help me, I need help, right? Yeah.
They don't have the support.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah. And so, you know, I love what you are doing. And I love the, you know, what you're trying to do as far as the scholarship. And I know that it takes everybody's help.
It takes a village.
It takes a village. She always says that it takes a village. And so I'm stepping in as Ask Pastor Deb on WSDradio.com. And so I'm also a radio personality. And one of the things that I love to do is to promote nonprofit organizations and, you know, bring the awareness of what they are doing. We are quick to say, ain't nobody doing nothing. But I'm here to tell you that SimLoH Dynasty is doing something, and they need your help. So this is like a free radio broadcast for you, okay? Free advertising from Ask Pastor Deb on WSDradio.com. And she needs your help. They need your help because her husband, Simeon, is a big part of it. He may be behind the scenes now, but let me tell you something. He keeps her on point. He lets her know that's too much. Stop talking so much. And then he'll bring her in. You should talk about this. And it is just a wonderful organization. And they need your help. This is something that we haven't seen in a very long time. And yes, I know people used to do this all the time. But we're talking about right now, today. You got what are you all? Millennial? These two are millennials, okay? And I'm a baby boomer, okay? I have millennials. My kids are millennials. And they are millennials. And what was that other one? Generation Y.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm confused.
Generation Y. I have two Generation Ys and one millennial. Okay. And they went through ACEs. You know, that's a whole nother part of the story, you know, but I'm not sharing their story. I'm sharing mine. So that's why I didn't bring that up. But let's just say generation after generation after generation until we put a pause on that thing and got to the Recovery Cafe. How about that? So I'm so glad you invited me on. This has been marvelous. I think you're doing a fabulous job.
Thank you, Omar, for coming.
Yes.
And again, like you said, COVID messed up a lot.
It did.
I actually was doing what we call villager pop-ups. And in the villager pop-ups, I was popping up. I was doing like the food trucks, putting in where I be. And I would have people to come out with me, and we would pop up in communities where people wasn't popping up, just to have the conversation. Okay, just to do parenting classes, just to talk, just to have an open arena to be there for people. And Debra can attest to this. I didn't want to be on no social media. Because I'm an introvert. I'm an extrovert. I'm sorry.
I was getting ready to say.
I'm a super duper extrovert. I love contact. I love people. Oh my nose. I'm a lover of God's people. And for me, social media, I can probably look at somebody else's, but I'll be like, that is not me. But literally, I think about 2 years, she's been talking to me before COVID.
That's right.
About getting on here doing, and it's just coming to a point now where I can't let anything stop me, and I have to have the conversation. SimLoH Dynasty, we are looking to build. This is a legacy thing. This is nothing that is just for now. Okay, we want people help. Generation after generation after generation after generation after generation. We would never be able to totally stop trauma, but we can alleviate
Yes.
some of it.
Yeah.
The known things that we have control over, we can at least be aware that like my son can't stand for me to holler at him. That could cause trauma in his life. But
Yes.
I got a big mouth anyway. I'm loud anyway. So if I'm excited, I might holler. If I'm mad, I might holler. You know, if I'm sad, I might holler. I just talk loud. But for my son, it's mama. Oh, why you doing this to me? You know, I'm like, oh God, I might be causing a little trauma in my kid's life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Take cause
it's not
for
a
aware
joke, people.
Yeah.
It's not a joke. Either he's not gonna want to be around people that holler, or he gonna stop hollering.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, generational.
Generational.
Yeah.
Generational.
Yeah.
Just something as minute as that.
Yes, it keeps going.
Yeah.
It's the company that you keep. We have that. That's a saying in recovery.
Yeah.
Change people, places, and things.
It really is.
Right? Yeah.
But Omar, do you have anything to say before we close out?
Oh, I had a thought in terms of the idea of church and wherever your religious background is. I think the idea of church is to have a place for healed people to come and heal. And so when you don't have a place to come and heal, for us people, for caring people or people who have gone through ACEs, who have gone through ACEs, you know, we feel like there needs the healing that needs to be done. You know what I'm saying? And thank God for creativity, because he gives us gifts that allows us to make ways out of no ways, make paths out of dirt roads, you know what I'm saying? And do what needs to be done by any means necessary. Where there is no will, there's no way. And so when God gives you the will to do something and do something in his will, why not?
Right.
You know, and so I definitely felt called and had the will to make this podcast for mental health and bring awareness to ACEs, because childhood trauma is real. Childhood trauma is happening. It's preventative, and it is constantly finding nuances and finding new ways to stay strong. I think that's more of the demon or the evil that we talk about than somebody actually being a bad person. And so yeah, that's all I have. I just listened to Help I'm Sad. The acronym I came with SAD is Silent After Disaster. Me and my co-hosts are going back and forth through the acronym, but that's one that I really want to go and go full force with. So Help I'm Sad, Silent After Disaster. Please listen to us on any streaming platform, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, anywhere you get a podcast app. You can look up Help I'm Sad and you'll find us. And I hope that it helps. If you need to talk to me about anything mental health wise, ACE wise, please inbox me, DM me. I'm always available. On Instagram, it's Omar. I am Omar Shakir. And on Facebook, it's Omar Shakir. So you can find me those two platforms. And thank you, TT, for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to speak on behalf of millennials, on behalf of young black men who are trying to make a difference, on behalf of, Christian people who are just really trying to make a heal from childhood trauma. And yeah, thank you, TT. I love you.
I love you, Omar, and I thank you for being here with me tonight.
I love you too, Omar. You were always my little Omar too.
I love you. I love you. I love you.
So I just thank you all again for being on tonight. I don't want to keep you any longer, but I just want to encourage those to please, please, please visit the SimLoH Dynasty Inc. Visit our website. Reach out to us. If you are interested in partnering with us, contact me, please. We need you. What's the song? Sing Omar. I need you. You need me. What's that?
We're all a part of God's family.
Yeah. So I need you. We need you. Okay. This is not just a SimLoH Dynasty thing. I'm just taking one part. Okay. And I'm reaching out to the village, to the villagers. Okay. Because it takes
A village.
a village to raise one child. Just one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm reaching out to the village, and I am asking that you give to the Valerie A. Howard Resilience Scholarship. Please, 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 please. It's down there at the bottom. Go back, watch this, share this, share this, share this. Let's continue to have the conversation. I will see you again on Monday, 8:00 p.m. Eastern.
Give.
Give. Yes, give.
Give.
Tell somebody, okay?
Yes. Share and give.
Yes.
Share and give.
Yes. And I just want to thank those who have already given to the SimLoH Dynasty Inc. and to the Valerie A. Howard Resilience Scholarship. I promise you, we will do the work. We will do the work. We will serve God's people. I thank you. I pray an abundance in your life. I pray overflow 100-fold into your life. Peace. I pray good health. I just pray that God will continue to bless you as you follow his will, his way. I pray for restoration, complete healing, and that the hope that you have, that it's in Jesus. I bless you. I love you. It's in Jesus' name. I give you glory. Hallelujah, God.
Hallelujah.
Thank you. I thank my guests tonight, and I ask that you will be with them in Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name.
Peace. I love you all.
Love you.
I love you. I love you.
Bye-bye.
Love you guys.